A wandering monk, a lady in black, a lady in white, a ghost dog. This unique location has it all: history and ghostly tales. It's been called one of Southern California's most haunted places. This is the Olivas Adobe in Ventura, California, and this is haunted beyond history. In 1841, when California was still under Mexican rule, Don Raymundo Olivas, a wealthy rancher, received a massive land grant of over 2,000 acres from Governor Juan Bautista Alvarado. This wasn't just any land. It was prime grazing territory that had previously belonged to the nearby Mission San Buenaventura. In 1847, though some sources claim it was 1837, Don Raymundo built what would become the Olivas Adobe. But here's what made it special. In 1849, he expanded it to 2 stories, making it the only 2-story building in the entire area. This wasn't just a home, it was a statement. Don Raymundo lived here with his wife, Señora Teodora, and their 21 children. Yes, you heard that right, 21 children. Can you imagine the chaos and the joy that filled these walls? The Olivas family was known throughout the Santa Clara River Valley for their elaborate parties and celebrations. For decades, this adobe was the social center of the region, hosting countless guests during what historians call the golden age of the California Rancho period. But like all golden ages, this one couldn't last forever. The 1860s brought devastating droughts that destroyed the cattle empires across California. Don Raymundo was smart. He survived by switching from cattle to sheep. But the writing was on the wall. In 1864, his business partner, Felipe Lorenzana, sold his half of the rancho. The empire was crumbling. When Don Raymundo died in 1879, it marked the beginning of the end for the Olivas fortune. Rebecca Olivas, the youngest daughter, became the last family member to call this adobe home. Imagine being the sole survivor in this massive house that once rang with the laughter of 21 children and countless party guests. The silence must have been unsettling. The adobe was sold in 1899, though some family members retained pieces of the land grant until as late as 1968. After passing through many hands, the adobe was purchased by Max Fleischmann of Fleischmann Yeast, who restored the building in 1927. It became Max Fleischmann's hunting lodge for a time. Later, in the 20th century, the city of Ventura received the adobe and a large land parcel from the Max Fleischmann estate, eventually establishing it as a historical park. The adobe is now designated as California Historical Landmark number 115 and operates as a museum celebrating Ventura's Rancho and Latino heritage. The Olivas Adobe reopened as a museum in 1972, and that's when things started to become interesting. Almost immediately, visitors and staff began reporting strange encounters, but these weren't your typical creaky floorboard ghost stories. These were full apparitions, clear as day. The most famous spirit is known as the Lady in Black, or the Dark Lady. She's been spotted multiple times in the living room and standing on the balcony, gazing out over what was once her family's vast ranch. Most paranormal investigators believe this is Señora Teodora Olivas herself, still watching over her beloved home. But she's not alone. There's also a lady in white, and this one is far more disturbing. Witnesses describe her as having bloody, empty eye sockets. Just imagine turning a corner in this historic adobe and coming face to face with that. Zapateos, this is shoes in Spanish, belonged to Nicholas, who was the oldest son of Don Raymundo Olivas. Visitors to the adobe have reported seeing a medium-sized dog with distinctive white paws roaming the grounds, particularly in the courtyard area. Unlike the human spirits, who seem more tied to specific rooms, Zapateos appears to patrol the entire property, perhaps still protecting his family's home from intruders. Yes, by all accounts, dogs can be ghosts, and the bond between the Olivas family and their beloved pet was clearly strong enough to transcend death. Staff members have reported hearing the sound of dog paws on the wooden floors when no animals are present, and some have felt the sensation of a friendly dog brushing against their legs. Our final ghostly resident is perhaps the most mysterious, the wandering monk. While the other spirits seem clearly connected to the Olivas family, this figure's origins are less certain. California's Adobe homes often had connections to the mission system, and it's possible that religious figures visited or even stayed at the Grand Olivas hacienda. The family was prominent in the community and would have been expected to offer hospitality to traveling clergy. Witnesses describe seeing a figure in dark robes moving through the corridors of the Adobe, particularly in the evening hours. Unlike the family spirits who seem tied to specific areas, the monk appears to wander the entire structure, as if searching for something or someone. Some theorize that this could be a priest who died while visiting the family, or perhaps a religious figure who was so moved by the family's hospitality that he chose to remain as a guardian spirit. Others believe he might be connected to the broader spiritual history of the region, a remnant from California's mission period, who found sanctuary at the welcoming Olivas home. The mission San Buenaventura is nearby, and perhaps the wandering monk is connected to that. What makes the Olivas Adobe particularly fascinating is how consistent these encounters are. This isn't a case of one or two isolated incidents that got blown out of proportion. For over 50 years since reopening as a museum, people from all walks of life have reported remarkably similar experiences. These aren't just ghost hunters or paranormal enthusiasts. We're talking about school children on field trips, families visiting for the history, docents who work there regularly, people who had no expectation of encountering anything supernatural. The staff has learned to work around the phenomena. Tour guides will tell you about rooms where electronic equipment mysteriously malfunctions, areas where visitors consistently report feeling uneasy, and times of day when the activity seems to peak. So what is it about the Olivas Adobe that seems to hold on to its past so tightly? Think about it. This building witnessed the rise and fall of an empire. It was filled with decades of joy, laughter, celebrations, and love from that massive family. But it also saw heartbreak, financial ruin, and the slow dissolution of everything Don Raymundo and Teodora had built. Some paranormal researchers believe that places with such intense emotional history, both positive and negative, can somehow absorb and replay those experiences. The Olivas Adobe had it all: incredible happiness, devastating loss, and the kind of family drama that only comes with 21 children. But there's something truly unique about this place that sets it apart from other haunted locations. The spiritual layers span centuries of California history. You have a wandering monk from the Spanish mission period, family spirits from the Mexican Rancho era, phantom children from decades of family life, and even a ghostly dog that refuses to abandon its post. It's as if different periods of California's past are all coexisting in this one remarkable location. Think about it. How many places can claim to be haunted by representatives from 3 different eras of history? The Olivas Adobe isn't just haunted, it's a supernatural timeline of California itself. Today, the Olivas Adobe stands as California Historical Landmark number 115. You can visit it yourself. They offer tours on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's located at 4200 Olivas Park Drive in Ventura, California. Will you encounter the lady in black? Will you hear the phantom children's laughter? Might you catch a glimpse of the wandering monk or the ghostly dog that still guards this historic home? Or will you be one of the lucky ones who experiences nothing more than a beautiful piece of California history? If you found this location as fascinating as I did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more Haunted Beyond History content. Have you ever visited the Olivas Adobe? Drop your experiences in the comments below. I read and really appreciate every single one. Thanks for watching.